Nothing I can do about it, except move on with my life, and accept that sometimes, whenever you have really good starting music for your stream, you start jamming out a little bit. And when you're jamming out a little bit, you hit the button on your mouse that makes you switch scenes. Anyway, hello. My name is, as you see in the lower left corner, Dodecalith, and I'm a shape. That's it really. I'm a shape. 3D shape, that's what the hedron stands for. 3D shape, and the dodeca means 12 sides. But, other than that, I'm pretty, innocuous. Your normal, everyday shape. However, I've decided that being a shape is kind of boring. And I want something to spice my life up a little bit, so I decided to start streaming, like a normal person. I mean, all the people are doing it nowadays. It's a great way to entertain not only yourself, but also other people, make new friends, and, even more importantly, make new enemies. However, this isn't a good way to introduce myself. I should be just a bit more professional about this. Hang on. I got something for this. Hang on. Now this is more like it. This is how we're rocking with it. So as I said, I am Dodecalith. You can also call me Dodecalith, Dode, or just Shape. That's me. Shape. I'm a shape. As for my age, I mean, theoretically, as we will go over later, a part of me was, in a sense, born and raised. It has an age. However, I don't quite remember how old that part of me is anymore, and I've decided I don't care. And so my age will be whatever you think it should be. Pick a number. Roll a d12. It'll be funny. However, what I can tell you is that I do have a birthday. Not when I was actually born, mind you. However, it is a date of great importance. For, as some of you may know, a dodecahedron is a shape, of course, but it is also known as one of the 5 regular polyhedra, aka one of the 5 regular platonic solids. And do you know who called them that? That's right, your boy, Plato. Great philosopher who theorized that the great polyhedra could be found in the classical elements, aka water, earth, air, and fire. Whether or not he was right, who can say? However, even so, I've decided to make his birthday, or at least when the day his birthday is celebrated is, mine, November 7th. Because I am a shape also, I don't technically have a height, you see. I don't have a body. I barely have organs. Actually, I don't think I have organs at all. I don't know. That's something to think about. But, in any case, I'm 29.5 inches in circumference, aka 75 centimeters, which is comparable to about the size of a basketball. So, I guess if you wanted to, you could pick me up and carry me around with you, but I don't recommend you do, unless it's sharp edges, and somehow, I don't think I'd make it through baggage claim. Actually, I definitely wouldn't make it through baggage claim. I glow a lot, as you can see, and I have a lot of innocuous inscribings on me. Yeah, I am not something you want to be taking out and about with you in public setting. A little bit to know about me, however. I am a floating dodecahedron created as a vessel by some unknown deity. The shape was housed in an ancient temple where it remained for years before being discovered by a stray explorer. His consciousness fused with the shape, granting it sentience. It decided to explore the world it woke up in and discover who made it and why. Indeed, one day I woke up and I was like, oh fuck, I have thoughts and can think and other things. I don't know what to do about this. And so I decided, well, what do all great sentient creatures do? Discover the meaning of their purpose. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I will figure out, maybe, maybe not, maybe I'll get distracted along the way, who made me? What's in me? I know there's something in me, I can feel it wiggling. Maybe it's not wiggling. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just hungry. Huh. I think that would be a better end to this story. If I were just hungry the entire time, rather than it being some unknowable darkness or deep dark horror. Turns out, no one made the shape. Shape just became conscious and was hungry. Or maybe not. We shall see. In any case, that's all you can really say about me in terms of the overview, but I guess we should go into a bit more detail about who I am specifically. Huh. So, let's move on to another section. Here are things I like. Lots of things I like, actually. To go down the list, starting from games. This is obviously not every game I like. This is only a very small selection in order to show you the general vibe of games that I like. Which is things that look cool, and also things that I think have a really good story. So, to start from the top, Horizon Zero Dawn. Absolutely loved this game. It was very, very satisfying to play, and even though I'm not really a person who was into that sort of gameplay back whenever it came out, I was immediately captivated by this game. Maybe because I was familiar with one of the main voice actresses in the game from a previous work of hers. And of course, I see someone in chat, a good friend of mine, pointing out, no Final Fantasy. We'll get to that later. Anyway, to go down the list, the second thing on this is Infamous. Not necessarily a not well-known game, but definitely a series that I feel like has been forgotten by the greater gaming community, which is a shame, because I absolutely loved it. Infamous is just, you know, what if have superpower and also morality? But, you know, it was made in, like, what, 2009, 2008, I think, so it's not this complicated as you would maybe like it to be. But I like that. I found it better when it was like that, and I've played all three of the games, and I love every single one of them, and who knows, maybe I'll play one of them for you. I would love to spread the love for this game. Next up, the Dragon Age series as well. I have played, again, all three of them, loved every single one of them. Not telling you who I romance in any of them, because maybe, just maybe, I'll play it again, and you'll figure it out immediately based on how I interact with the characters. However, I will say that I had a friend introduce me to this game way later on, and I started with playing Inquisition, and then I moved on to play Origins and 2. And it was worth every second I spent trying to figure out why my PlayStation 3, that's right, I played this on the PlayStation 3, didn't work whenever it comes to using the disc. It is a beautiful, beautiful piece of world building in my opinion, and honestly, I am so excited to see if they make a fourth one. Watchdogs 2, specifically Watchdogs 2, is one of those games that I consider a formative part of me as a person and my personality. I am, as you'll see later down the list, a big fan of programming and coding in general, and so the general vibes of this game, while a bit cringy, as someone who actually is interested in it from a professional standpoint, were really aesthetically pleasing to look at, and were just really funny to make jokes about even now. So, I excuse the cringiness. It is forgiven. And finally, something that does not fit any of the other ones on this list, Bayonetta, because Lady Hot. Moving on. So for music, I like lots of types of music. I could go on and on about specific songs and genres till the day I die, but there's one that has captured my heart forever and always, and that is EDM, dubstep, house, all those things. All that electronic, newfangled stuff that you don't quite understand but know all the kids are into these days. Well, I'm one of the kids, and I'm into it. I'm into it a lot. But in order to narrow it down as to some of my favorite artists in the scene, I am a particularly big fan of Porter Robinson. His music is very emotionally comforting to me. I believe he makes beautiful works that are representative of EDM as a whole, not only as the more hard and more kicky, fun, upbeat style of things, but also of the more contemplative and melancholy roots that EDM can sometimes find itself in. In that similar vein, that means that I also like Madeon, who has worked with Porter Robinson on a song you may know, Shelter. And again, just an artist who flip-flops very easily but smoothly between the vibes of being very calm and somber, but also very upbeat and energetic. And that's something I need a lot of in my life. Virtual Riot is an artist who does both of those things and more, because he does basically every single genre you could possibly think of. He's done regular old EDM, he's done dubstep, he's done house, he's done drum and bass, he's done, I think, a little bit of trap, he's done so much stuff, and I think he's just a good all-around artist to listen to, and a lot of my time spent was really just looping some of his songs and hoping that the good beats would carry my brain into getting some work done. Second to last on this list is a group called Riot, which are basically what I like to call if dubstep and metal kind of met and had a bit of a get-together, a little smash or pass. And their music is kind of what the results of that is. Very hard and grating, but still very satisfying to listen to. I very much recommend it. And finally, a classic, darling of the industry, Zed. He is very well known in the house and EDM industry for being the creator of Clarity, if you're very at all familiar with that, or just familiar with music at all and have been in a grocery store in the year 2018, honestly, because, God, they were pumping that forever and ever. Yeah, he made that, so that should show you how good he is. That song's great. In order to move on to a few artists who are not explicitly related to EDM, dubstep, and house, just three, because I like so many people, but these three are the ones that I really carry with me a lot. 1. K-Flay. Loved her music for a really long time, and still probably will always listen to it. I think my greatest moment is just absolutely losing my mind writing something while listening to Blood in the Cut over and over and over again till I went insane. Good times. Next on the list, Daughter. For whenever I feel like I need to have too many emotions, Daughter is a great way to do that. She perfectly encapsulates the human experience in as few or as many words as possible. It's honestly amazing. And, okay, let's move on to the next category, which is manga and anime. Because, I mean, how could I not be a weeb? First off, Perfect Blue is probably one of the, not the, but one of the most important movies to me ever, honestly. It is downright terrifying to watch it whenever you're younger like I was, but whenever you watch it as you're older, you start to understand the nuances of what's going on there, and you realize, wow, this is just it's just a really good movie. I can't explain it. I don't have the words. I do not have the words. You need to watch it. In order to move on, in order to similar vein of experiences, Serial Experiments Lane, funny joke, is one of those pieces of media that you can list as the reason why I like coding and programming and stuff. It's her fault, man. I saw The Wired and I was like, man, what if I were like Lane? What if I lived in The Wire? And then it all went downhill from there, man. There's no coming back from that. Demon Slayer is one of the ones where, fun fact, I started reading the manga before the anime was even announced. I was reading it, and then I heard the anime was announced, and then I promptly finished the currently updated part of the manga, and I was like, well, now I have to watch the anime, and then I loved that too, so now I'm just into it all the time. I don't talk about it that often, because I just generally like appreciating it quietly, but it is one of those fucking anime that I think is a top tier of all time. It is masterfully crafted in how they translate the art style of the manga into the anime. It was really easy in order to get that hard, and they managed to nail it. Next up on the list is something, a recent watch that my friend has showed me. Black Rock Shooter, of the OVA, and also the recent, not that recent, anime. I found so much humor and joy watching this. I now can confidently say I am an expert in conflict resolution because I watched Black Rock Shooter. If you ever have a problem, please call me. I watched this anime. I am now incapable of losing an argument. It's perfect. Highly recommend. Cardcaptor Sakura, which is something that you see on this list of other things and go, what happened to you, is just feel-good fluff with just a hint of I want my brain to sometimes latch on to bits of story elements, but most of the time I just want it to be turned off so I can just sit back and watch a cute girl fight monsters. That's what this is for me. Moving on to things that I think are more, well, not more, definitely in the vein of I read the manga. Blame is a older manga that I am trying to find the words to explain what happens in this manga, but I honestly can't. All I can tell you is that the way it's drawn will stick with me forever. The architecture of the environment is just to die for. It feels as alien to you as it undoubtedly feels to the people who live in the world, but it's also alien in a sense of familiarity. You'd have to look at it too in order to understand, but it's definitely in that vein of architecture that was not necessarily made by humans, nor for humans, but was influenced because humans were around, you know? It's really weird to look at, but it's really cool. And in a similar vein is Gantz, which is just a freaking classic. I loved it a lot. You think it's just gonna be your regular old kind of shonen anime where, well, not really shonen, it's definitely not a shonen, your regular old anime where it's like, oh no, they have to fight, and then it's like Monster of the Week style, but there's actually a lot of nuance to the characters there, and a lot of plot and elements that you would not have ever expected if you only read, like, the first few chapters. It's a bit older, but I highly recommend it, and, maybe, just maybe, I am the long-distant cousin of the horrible orb that's in that manga. Who knows? I'm not telling anything. Dungeon Messy, second to last on the list, or Delicious in Dungeon for us normal English speakers right here, is just everything you expect it to be in terms of a cooking D&D inspired manga, but also nothing you expect it to be in being a D&D cooking inspired manga. You read it and then you're like, oh, this is really cool. They're going through a dungeon, they're going to save their friend, and they're eating delicious food. And then stuff just starts happening, and you're like, wow, I never would have thought that I would get this involved in the plot of a D&D group literally having to deal with the consequences of, supposed immortality in this world. It's just, it's lovely. It's perfect. And finally, last on the list, something I recommend highly, and also very carefully, Berserk. I was devastated when the author of this manga passed away, because his work is raw. It is literally watching a human being dig his way out of the depths of human deprivation cast upon him by people he considered to be his friends and loved ones, and coming out of that not necessarily a better person, but still inherently who he thinks he should be, and sticking true to what he believes, and still doing as best as he can to be good. And I think there's a lot that can be taken from Berserk in terms of how we live our lives. It's emotional catharsis in order to read it and watch Guts go through what he goes through and understand that even though he's gone through all this, even though he's suffered literally so much, in the end, he's just going to get up, pick up his horrible big sword, and just keep on walking, because that's what he does. Anyway, new topic. Other things. Literally, just other things I like. Yu-Gi-Oh! Which I got into recently. Which actually, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, is the reason why I started streaming, kind of. Well, started streaming right now. I am a friend of someone you people in chat may know. Certain Iron Shiva. Yes, Well, this good doggo owes me a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. And I plan on definitely showing you guys the results of that duel as soon as possible, as soon as we can get that arranged. So please look forward to that. However, when I say look forward to that, I do have a big fat asterisk next to it that says, do not expect me to win. I do not play that good at Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not a master level player. I started playing recently. I made my deck kind of by myself. I kind of researched a little bit into it, but I've been trying to figure it out on my own. My deck is definitely not meta, and I have an addiction to robots, specifically Cyberse-type monsters, so everything I do is probably wrong. Criticize me all you want, however, I will never, ever give it up. I like my robots. They're cute and cool. Other things, part 2. Writing. I have not written much recently, but it's still something I like to do. It's still something I appreciate as an art form, and still something I hold a lot of passion for, that I'm trying to revive and rekindle. Whereas, far as where my writing is posted, and with what, those are secrets that I will take to the grave, unless you coerce me by giving me copious amounts of money. That's all I'm saying about that. Alright, third thing on the list is math. Although, considering I am a shape, of course I like math. I'm quite literally the product of such things. But I do actually like math, despite every other person on the planet being like, what is wrong with you? I think math is a thing of beauty. It is basically just me finding love in how we try and make the illogical logical. And we're doing a pretty damn good job of it too, considering how math works. So yeah, it's hard. I can't justify it any more than that. I just think math is really cool, man. And because I think math is really cool, I also think programming's really cool. That's right, I'm a programmer. I'm so sorry. I'm not that good of a programmer, but I definitely am one. No, I will not help you make your website. I don't want to. End of sentence. Yeah, that's the end of the sentence, actually. There we go. I don't want to. I like programming, but I just don't want to. However, I might share some projects I make, like, personally, like, with you guys, or, like, not even, like, pure coding streams, but, like, code review streams or whatever. I don't know. I don't really think it would be something that anyone's really interested in, but if you are, please let me know, because I'm definitely down to do that. In order to move on, before we move on to the next bit of talking that I have to do, I will say, earlier I pointed it out, a friend of mine, Zeph, said no Final Fantasy, and you're right, there is no Final Fantasy on there, because I gave it its own slide. I'm kidding, I did not actually do that. However, I will say that I do like Final Fantasy, I do play it a lot, I will be streaming it whenever I play it with my raid group, and I'm gonna try not to love mail the game too hard, because I think that deserves its own stream. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, wait out for whenever New Game Plus comes. I'm gonna be on that shit. Oops, that's the wrong one. We need to go to this one. Right? Right. Yeah. So I was going to post this right here, right now. So as far as what I'm going to be doing later this week, tomorrow I'm going to be streaming. I'm not streaming, sleeping, because I'm tired. I've been awake for a while. However, Friday and Saturday, I will start the process of streaming. I will, on Friday, be streaming Endwalker. Saturday, I will not actually be streaming my raid group's raid. I will be streaming Horizon Forbidden West. Got the game recently due to a good friend of mine and decided, hey, this is a really cool game. I really love the first game and I'm in love with the franchise. Why not actually start streaming me play through the second game? And you know what? I will do that. I already started playing it a little bit off stream, but I didn't get that far in anyway, so I'm definitely willing to, like, restart and whatever. Plus, it'll be a good grand adventure for us to go to the Forbidden West, literally. But yeah, that's all for that. I'll post this on my Twitter, link in the description, later. That way you can see it at all times, and it'll be pinned. It's great. But we should move on from that now, because now I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for being here and watching me do this horrible, horrible Scuff debut stream. I want to say... Oh yeah, post it in my community thing too? Yeah, I will. I want to say thank you to anyone who's watching this in the future and is like, hey, what the hell is this? And just watch it and then immediately click off. That's okay. Not everything's for everyone. And I want to say thank you to my friend who encouraged me to do this and continue to support me even though they're assholes and I'm assholes. It's great how we support each other in that way. What are other things I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, I wanted to go back to something on the games slide, because I think I wanted to go over something. Huh. I don't remember. Well, I have a saying, and it's a very bad saying. If you didn't remember it, it wasn't important. And if you think it's important, then why didn't you remember it? So, that was probably important, but I will remember it later, whenever it becomes relevant to me again. And I go, oh, beans, I forgot to talk about this thing. And then I'll be upset with myself. But you know what? That's called growth. You know, you make mistakes, and then you live to regret them for the rest of your life. Funny how that works out. In any case, I think that's all we really needed to go over today. Sorry this is really short. I definitely won't ever make a stream that's this short ever again. I'm just really tired today. I didn't really plan much for this. But look forward to Friday and Saturday. As I said, hang on, let me put them back on screen. Right here. Friday and Saturday, as I said. Friday, streaming Raid Group Final Fantasy. Saturday, we're starting Horizon Forbidden West. And, yeah, that's all I have to really say to you guys. Thank you for watching this very scuffed, short debut stream. Hopefully, as I continue to do this, I'll be capable of doing it better, and also remembering to sleep before I have things to go to. I forgot time zones. You're right. Thank you for reminding me. I will post that in the edit later on the community post and in my Twitter. That's right. I have a Twitter. It's in the description. Follow me on Twitter. Okay, I'm getting delirious now. I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah, look at my Twitter for the thing, or in the community post if I have those. I'll put them there. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna go die, jeez.